All I'm asking you to do is listen. All I'm asking you to do is listen. All I'm asking you to do is listen. Why do we hail a monster as a hero?
I have a problem with Columbus Day because how do you discover something that's already here? And from this side of the table, being a full-blood Native American, I've always felt like he was probably our first immigrant to come over here, rather than discoverer.
Theodore DeBry's eyewitness accounts. Why praise a serial killer on Columbus Day?
I honestly believe that everything we've been taught about Columbus Day and Columbus himself has been a complete lie, a complete sham of our history and our true identity as Indigenous people. I do think that it's a continuation of that violence that he brought upon our people when he first came here.
Theodore DeBry's eyewitness accounts. We would not dare erect a statue of Hitler, yet nobody minds the statues that reside all over the country of this genocidal murderer. Theodore DeBry was an artist and engraver.
Well, first of all, Columbus Day is something that we shouldn't be honoring in the first place. And some people think that we're trying to change history. But honoring somebody who did such dishonorable things like genocide and slavery and kidnapping shouldn't be honored.
Theodore DeBry's eyewitness accounts. They would hang 13 men and women at a time. If you did not bring in the quota of gold expected, you would be tortured.
It was a horrible thing that they did, he and his horde of Spanish men. No one should celebrate Columbus Day for any reason. They should annihilate that, completely take it off the records, and make it Indigenous Day. Columbus did not discover America. Native Americans discovered Columbus.
Children and babies were used as dog food.
The indigenous of the Barbados Islands found him and his crew, the last remaining ship of 4, stranded at sea, starving to death. They welcomed him to their land. They fed him, taught him how to survive. He went back to Spain, told the queen that this land was full of gold and riches. They sent the conquistadors over.
Pregnant and nursing women with children and elderly people would be thrown in pits until full, then pierced with stakes.
When I think about Columbus Day, I think about the bloodshed of my native people, how they were so willing to give and help, and in return were slaughtered.
Theodore DeBry's eyewitness accounts.
I mean, it's Columbus. He did not discover America. That's all I can say. We were here first. He was looking for India, and sure is in India.
Theodore DeBry's eyewitness accounts.
We're all familiar that Pope Francis is here in the United States doing
Yes.
his tour. One of the things that I was really concerned about when he had the world stage, now this is a leader of millions of Christian people, Catholic people. He says, tragically, the rights of those who were here long before us were not always respected. For those people and their nations, from the heart of American democracy, I wish to reaffirm my highest esteem and appreciation. Those first contacts were often turbulent and violent, and so far so good. But it is difficult to judge the past by the criteria of the present.
What?
Yeah. See, basically, he's giving the colonizers, the people like Columbus who came, and okay, you can't judge the past by the criteria of the present. Well, genocide is ongoing.
That's true.
It hasn't stopped for Native people.
The Lord asked the Holy Father whether Christians went to the sky. The priest replied that they did, but only those who were good. And the cacique then said, then he did not desire to go to the sky, but rather down to hell, so that he would not be where they were.
And why it should be changed to Indigenous Peoples Day, because we should be honoring the people that were here, not erasing them from history. It's like we were here first. We weren't discovered. We were living here first. So the myth of discovery is something that we have to refute. And if we don't do it, we can't depend on the school system to do it for us. So we have to know our own history, and we have to teach our own history, because the government is not going to do it for us.
I feel like what he did is disconnected us from our true identity, our culture, and our ties to Mother Earth. Though he didn't succeed because we were still fighting on and we're still resisting.
They beat, killed, raped, murdered women. They bashed babies' heads in.
Theodore DeBry's eyewitness accounts.
Now is the time to speak the truth. We're no longer blind. We must not celebrate a murderer, a racist, and a killer. America needs a new hero.
We have to abolish Columbus Day. We are celebrating the birth of a genocidal mass murderer, a rapist.
You have a mascot like the Redskins. That's part of genocide because it lets people know it's okay to make fun of people and to stereotype them. You know, when you get into, a football game, even though you say we're honoring, we're taking the Redskins as our name and we're honoring these people. Well, the other group is not honoring you, especially when they're putting out signs like scalp them, hang them out to dry. That's not honoring a people. They're making fun of a people. They're making the most horrible caricature of a people, and they're dehumanizing a people. And you have a pope who has the opportunity to say, it needs to stop. What happened in the past was wrong, but we need to change the present because genocide is continuing.
Don't have any other team by the name of Blackskins, Whiteskins, or any others, and the Redskin does refer to Native people. Now, using that name offends a lot of people from your Native American nations, and that's the reason it should be changed, because it wasn't too long ago it was okay and appropriate to use the N-word in normal conversation. Now, those group of people stood up and said, okay, that offends us and that bothers us, and just because they voice their opinion, that is what happened. Now it's not okay and appropriate to use the N-word in normal conversation, and for the same reason, we should be given the same respect as to where if it offends any group of people, then it has to be changed, or it needs to be changed.
The R word came from. Now, normally what they would do is they would slice from one part of the head to the other, lift it up, and what do you see when you lift your scalp up? You see red. It represents blood and it represents death. That's what it means to me as a Native American. I find it very offensive. It dehumanizes us as people. They are saying to us, you are not human. The only thing you are is a pelt, like an animal. So when somebody says the word redskin to me, it's really offensive. And I'll read you a good example. And this one was from the Winona, Minnesota newspaper. And it came out September 24th, 1863. And I have to turn now to read it to you. But it says the state reward for dead Indians has been increased to $200 for every redskin sent to purgatory. This sum is more than the dead bodies of all the Indians east of the Red River are worth. Wow. What does that tell you? They were getting a lot of money for our skins. And that is why I find the redskin word so offensive.
Personally, don't like the name Redskins because it portrays my people. I mean, why can't they pick any other race? And like, you can dress native, you can act like you're Indian, you can put on your regalia, but come Monday morning, they're back to white people.
That's true.
I have to stay native. I have to stay the people that's being made fun of, the people that's racist against, the people that's against native people. I have to live that. The white people that dress up in the weekends, like I said, can go back to being a white person.
I mean, they don't have any other crew called the Rednecks or anything of that nature. Mm-hmm. And it's always pertaining to natives. I don't know why they always use natives as mascots, like Kansas City Chiefs, the Blackhawks, Redskins.
Or the Indians.
Yeah, or the Indians. Never anything of white.
There's no way they're honoring us. It insults us when they try to dress as how they think Indian would dress or put on war paint. War paint is not a fun thing to put on. When we actually go to battle, I want to see them put that war paint on. See how they feel when it's actually time for going into battle to protect our people.
And they're not honoring by when they go to the football games and they put on fake headdresses,
War bonnets.
and war bonnets, they'll face paint, and then they would do this. You know, what part of honoring is that?
It was obvious that the indigenous were more civilized than the newcomers that came here. What they saw when they first arrived astonished them. We had no borders, no jails or police. We had trade routes to many major cities that had irrigation systems that provided clean water. Special merchant areas where timbers, tiles, and other materials were bought and sold. Grocery streets where you could buy every sort of vegetable, fruits, honeys, nut paste, and chocolates. We valued personal hygiene and cleanliness, bathed on a frequent basis, used soaps and deodorants, breath fresheners, and brushed our teeth. The indigenous tried to teach the settlers to bathe without success.
Protecting wounded knee occupation since 1973. Traditional people feared the goons from all their criminal deeds. 3 years of terror from goon attacks, the murder and assault. with the FBI providing all the weapons that the dangerous goons sought. Goons' crimes were ignored and supported by the government's FBI. On request of the Jumping Bull family, we set up Camp 75. Laying without cause, bullet casings not connected to me. Laying without cause, death of Joseph Stunson still a mystery. Laying without cause, I never knew Myrtle Port there. Laying without cause, 1,000 case pages never shared. An unmarked car with 2 agents following a red pickup truck. Shots were heard and a shootout erupted as the gunfire ran amok. Surrounded by 150 agents, some police and some goons. At the end of the day, a native man and 2 agents met their doom. Laying without cause, I sat there and you saw a truck. Laying without cause, 3 teens testified as sitting ducks. Laying without cause, I sat here for 40 years. Laying without cause, I'm gonna die here is my fear.